We have videos from all around the world that are going to make us rethink life. I'm not going to be shouting out no one for a while because these next couple of videos are all of Big's videos. So shout out to Big for these next couple of videos.
That I'm not going to live long. And that's why I put every day, every hour, every minute into building, into growing. Why am I out here working on this plastic in the fuel reactor I've been working on for 5 years? Since I was 17. Why am I out here in 100-degree weather? Why am I out here despite being falsely accused and reported to the EPA and the IRS? Why am I out here despite weird black helicopters that turn off their radar transponder circling me 6 times at night? Why am I out here sleeping in my van, crazy humidity, mosquitoes, gnats flying in, and yet I still do it? Why am I out here despite having to drive 4 hours every time I want to work on this machine because when I was doing it in my parents' backyard, I blew myself up.
Ooh.
And I had to go to the hospital for 2nd-degree burn surgery. I do this because this is my mission that I've assigned myself to. I do this because I do not fear death.
There was a video that I reacted to of his, and I was getting a lot of hate because what I said was, why did he have to run to the internet and tell the world what he was doing? Because when you tell the world what you're doing, the government sees that, and the government does not like when you do things that takes away from their profit. So I got a bunch of hate. And I said that because, again, when you post that you're doing things that are contrary to what the government is doing, the government is going to come and take you out. And that's all I was saying. And people thought I was hating. No, I love what that man's doing. It's just that when you post stuff and you're letting the world know, I just found out how to make cars run on water and run on air, the government is now coming for you because now you're a target. You're messing with their system. You're messing with their money. You know they already look at us as this. So that's what I was saying. So I said all that to say, now the man's missing because he has found a solution to a problem, but the government operates off of problems because they don't want solutions.
Everyone needs to know what these Amish people are doing right now. Remember those devastating storms that hit North Carolina last year? Well, they've never really made a big deal about it, but every single week since then, an army of Amish have been traveling hundreds of miles from Pennsylvania to help rebuild the town of Chimney Rock. And because the Amish grow up and are taught to build everything themselves, like their houses and barns, having an Amish volunteer hits different. Not only are they doing all of this with a smile, but the mayor of Chimney Rock reportedly said that if the Amish had not shown up, the entire town would have been a ghost town. Every single business in the town has been damaged in some way. So for months, they've been clearing up debris, insulating new buildings, organizing donated products, and repairing the buildings that can still be saved. Now, thanks to their help, the town is planning on being up and running again very soon. And they did all of this without a single request for publicity.
This has to be number 2, Moana 2.
What? Dum-dum, she's not even here. No mortal's gonna jump into the realm of...
The realm of what? The realm of what? How many times are they gonna put it right in our face? Let me break something
All the
down.
time.
If you're new to my channels, you haven't seen my other channels. Television. There is witchcraft in the English language.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it. Television. We watch things on a television, right? Tell-a-vision. They're telling you a vision. They're telling you exactly what's going on, but they are too busy programming you to think that it's fiction. Why do you think they call what we watch on the TV programming? Now back to our scheduled programming. And what do we watch these shows and movies on? Channels. Channeling certain vision, things that they want you to believe. There is so much more when it comes to the English language, but that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is the fact that there are portals in the ocean. And I truly believe that space is the ocean. I know that sounds crazy, but if you actually looked at the comparisons, why do diver suits and astronaut suits look identical? Why do they train in the ocean to get ready for space? Why did NASA start off exploring the ocean, then stop and say that it's now space exploration? Why was NASA created directly after Admiral Byrd unalived? They made the Antarctica Treaty and they all of a sudden said that his Operation High Jump, where he went into a hole in Antarctica, came out the other end, and said there was a giant ice wall and crazy things beyond the ice and in the waters. Why did that happen? Why was NASA created after that? Giving distraction. Y'all, have you watched Stranger Things, right? Ooh, Stranger Things has another realm called the Upside Down. And to get there, a lot of the times, Eleven would submerge herself in water to get there, to get to another realm. Y'all, what the heck? How many times do they have to tell us in our faces for us to understand they're gonna hide things in plain sight? Why do y'all think water births are so spiritual when it comes to giving life through water? I think that there is way more than meets the eye when it comes to the ocean. I think they know way more than they let on. If Congress can sit here and say that there are UAPs and a presence in the ocean and then tell us that, oh, UFOs might just exist and they might be coming from the ocean, and all these orbs people are seeing in the sky, a lot of the times they come out of the water. Y'all, come on. And I really think that the reason they put it in plain sight in children's movies most of all is because children often have, like, they're often able to see beyond the veil. Like, they can, like, just think of Bridge to Terabithia. When they were younger, they could see the things because they had the imagination. But when they were older and grown-ups, like, they couldn't because they were just so programmed in life to just be focusing on their 9-to-5s and, like, the matrix that was set up for us. Yes, they do put it in adult movies, but I see this stuff more so in children's movies. And it really makes you question why. Everybody thought this was crazy until NBA YoungBoy said he feels like space is also the ocean. And now everybody want to be like, oh my gosh, space is in the ocean. No, y'all, this has been a thing. This has been a thing. Anyway, I'm not going to go too deep in my soapbox. I'm not even sure if y'all want to hear about this on this account since it's my spam account. But make sure you like, follow, and comment down below if you want to dive deeper into this tea.
That is exactly why I'm always saying in the videos that the target are the children. Because if you look at some of the cartoon shows, movies, programs, whatever you want to call it, and you're looking at it as an adult, and you're seeing the stuff that they're putting into these children's shows, you're like, why would you do that? Like, is some adult jokes in there that they put where I'm like you would have caught it as a child, but growing up and hearing it, you're like, there's no way that they put this in this stuff, because they're trying to program them at an early age because they're so pure, they're so blameless. And on top of that, they were the ones that had the most recent conversation with Yahuwah before he sent them down here to the Eretz to be a solution to a problem. So they're trying to do the thing of the programming where they're trying to get them at an early age. Because I said it before, once they get them at an early age by programming them and doing this and that, then they fall in line with the others, which is what she said. Like, the people who are older, they're programmed because look at all the programmed stuff that we're near compared to a child. So they put this stuff in the children's stuff so that they can be programmed at an early age so that they can fall in line just like the others.
What if America's most dangerous killers were created in secret government labs? MK Ultra didn't end. It evolved into something darker and domestic. The Unabomber was part control or madness.
The government is always behind the worst things that you can imagine. Charles Manson, if I'm even saying his name correctly, he actually talks about this. He's talked about stuff like this, and they said there's a book called Chaos that talks about it as well.
People that still eating at McDonald's, these are some facts you need to know about it. McDonald's Shamrock Shake has over 82 ingredients. Now just think about that. If you made a milkshake at home, you think you'll use 82 ingredients?
No.
One McDonald's milkshake contains over 59 chemical ingredients. And these same ingredients are found in paint and gasoline. McDonald's fries has over 19 ingredients, while homemade fries only take a potato, salt,
That's it.
maybe some butter, and beef tallow, and some cooking oil. That's it. Always feeling your worst, you never feeling your best, it's because you keep eating food like this that's killing you slowly.
Who bought the World Trade Center? A guy named Larry Silverstein. About a month and a half before the towers were hit, he took out a very strange and unorthodox insurance policy that covered terrorism. Then, what ended up happening was after 9/11, he was able to get the biggest insurance buyout ever. This guy, Larry Silverstein, close friends with who? Benjamin Netanyahu, the current prime minister of Israel. They talk every...
Someone mentioned he didn't show up to work that day, and they said he never missed work. Let that sink in. And then they also mentioned, because I know we had a reaction a while back to the Titanic. So they said JP Morgan owned the Titanic and he did the same thing.
They are going to put the homeless in concentration camps. They are going to put women who don't want more kids in concentration camps. They are going to put women who want divorces in concentration camps. They're going to put military veterans who are on assistance for PTSD in concentration camps. I genuinely do not understand how you Americans cannot see this miles and miles away when your entire education system was teaching you about World War I, World War II, and the Civil War, and what was happening in the Japanese internment camps in America, and what was happening in Germany. I'm so angry that I can't even yell anymore because this new executive order is giving the U.S. government full right to put anyone they deem as mentally incompetent in concentration camps.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Most people would eat Soylent Green if they tasted like Takis. And it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. I literally think people would eat people chips if it tasted good enough. Because people eat stuff all the time that they know is bad for them. Like the fact that McDonald's food does not rot. This up here is a burger from 2006. It's such a problem that other places like Burger King will show that their food actually does mold. But every time I drive past Mickey D's, there's a line around the block. And a bunch of people are going to comment about how they want to go get a burger now. It's like they know that this is not good for you. I mean, when you throw it on the ground, ants don't even want to eat it. And that's because people get so addicted to food that they'll eat things that they know are bad for them. They would literally line up for Soylent Green if it tasted like the green Takis. And considering the green Takis are zombie flavored, is hilarious. People would eat used toilet paper if it tasted like their favorite food. Now I know there's a bunch of millennials watching right now and they're like, I wouldn't eat Soylent Green if it tasted like Takis. You would if they tasted like Flaming Hot Cheetos. Gen X probably would if it tasted like Bugles or those pizzeria chips. And boomers would be munching it down if it tastes like ambrosia salad or those bland tin cookies. But when I was a kid, I remember I was horrified about this. And I was like, wow, at the end when he's yelling what Soylent Green's actually made out of, that would get people to stop. But now in my 30s, I don't think people would have stopped if they actually liked it. We're way too addicted to our foods. And people eat things all the time that they know is bad for them. He'd be standing up in front of everyone. It's made out of people. Everyone would just look at him and be like, so? Tastes good. And most people will keep eating these foods until they get banned. Like Red 3 was shown to cause cancer in animals. And there were other synthetic dyes that were also carcinogenic. Red 3 didn't get banned until 2023. And some people actually got mad that Red 3 got banned because they were like, well, I have the right to eat it. People take food so unseriously, they actually made a brand called Soylent, and they have a green one. I talked about that awful KFC commercial where they dunk a person into gravy and they become fried chicken. So many people commented that it made them want fried chicken. We're absolutely cooked. If they really do make Soylent Green and it tastes good, people would immediately start buying that stuff up and justifying it.
This whole celebrity idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That was sold to us, y'all. You got people out here that are human, that are acting every day of their life. They're not even real.
Yeah.
They just on NPC every day. They acting. They don't even know. The world is a stage, dog. And it's a lot of terrible actors. It's a lot of terrible actors out here. The world is a stage. There's a lot of terrible actors, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it, dog. I'm just going to say it. I tried to tell Spice beforehand I said it, but the whole idea of celebrity, bro, if you're not a real person and you can't stand on your morals and principles out here, move out the way. You can't stand on any principles and morals out here as a person that's trying to see this world become better, move out the way for the time being. I'm not paying attention to all the beefs going on or...
Start off with the Mercury. Thank you so much, everybody with the Phoenix Mercury organization. all the hard work, long hours, everything that y'all did to for me, my wife, my family, getting me back home, being there, supporting me, letting me know that I wasn't alone. It means everything to me, to everybody. Vince, Bryce, Jim, coach, everybody, the players. It goes all the way down to the people that keep this building running.
Fans had been piecing this story together for years. All the league had to do was stay quiet a little longer, and it would have stayed buried. But now that the truth is out there, people aren't just questioning Britney's identity. They're starting to wonder what the WNBA and NBA knew and how long they've been keeping it under wraps. At first, everyone was blaming the WNBA directly. But then one name kept popping up in the background, Adam Silver. Sources say once the medical leak started making rounds behind the scenes, Silver got involved almost immediately, not because of policy violations, not because of league rules, but because of optics. Sponsors were nervous, fans were divided, and the league's new golden girl, Caitlin Clark, was taking heat for something she didn't even do. People inside the league claim Silver didn't want this dragging into All-Star Weekend. Executives allegedly got told to handle it quietly, which in WNBA language means drop her fast and don't make a scene. It wasn't about what Britney said. It was about what she represented. A scandal the NBA didn't want to clean up. Let's not forget, Silver oversees everything, from player conduct to brand deals to long-term vision. He's not hands-off. And the fact that this happened during a record-breaking season, that timing wasn't accidental. It was a reset, a clean slate for the league, and Britney no longer fit into it. He even said that partners were starting to question their association with the league. And in case you missed it, here's the clip.
I'm laughing because y'all know I'm about to bring up a movie. If y'all are new to the channel, I'm known for relating stuff that happens in real life to movies because they put the truth in movies. So I think y'all know what movie I'm referring to, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Have y'all seen Joanna Man? Because that's Britney Griner. Joanna Man was about a man that got dropped from the NBA and ended up playing in the WNBA. He disguised himself as a woman and was playing on the women's league with women as a man.
Hey, you know that little logo you see on toothpaste boxes that says like ADA approved? You know, the one from the American Dental Association? Yeah, did you know that same organization took a bribe from the big sugar industry? Yeah, welcome to my latest rabbit hole. So let's go back to the 50s and 60s. The sugar industry was kind of like freaking out a little bit because scientists were starting to connect the dots between eating sugar and, I don't know, tooth decay, heart disease, and diabetes. And Americans were chugging soda and eating cereal like it was some kind of survival tactic, as America does. Instead of, I don't know, changing the product or putting a warning label on something, they just pulled the classic move, you know, the one that Big Tobacco did. They paid off the people in charge of your health. So yeah, here's the actual receipt. In 1959, the Sugar Research Foundation, yes, that's a real thing, made a large donation to the American Dental Association. And then they kept those donations rolling for over a decade.
That's ridiculous.
In exchange for their efforts, the ADA shifted the narrative for them. So yeah, instead of telling people, hey, eat less sugar, which was like the obvious fix, they focused on like brushing, flossing, and fluoride, which that's a whole nother story. I'm sorry, your kid's not losing teeth because he skipped a brush. It's because he's eating 14 tablespoons of sugar in his breakfast cereal every day. Oh, and get this. In 1967, internal memos from the Sugar Research Foundation were uncovered that literally said that they wanted to lessen the importance of reducing sugar as a means of controlling dental caries. So yeah, instead they pushed alternative methods like fluoride because that didn't threaten their bottom line and their money was safe. So yeah, not a conspiracy theory, literal strategy. It's fine, let the teeth rot. Just make sure the dentist doesn't blame the sugar, okay? Oh, and it didn't stop with teeth. The sugar industry, yeah, they also funded bold studies that blamed fat for heart disease, which totally diverted from sugar's role in things like inflammation and metabolic issues. So yeah, that's why the old food pyramid told you to eat 6 to 11 servings of carbs per day and to avoid fat like the plague. Yeah, the sugar lobby won, and we're still paying for it. Because here's the thing, by the 2000s, the damage was done. At that point, childhood cavities were like epidemic. Oh, and things like sugar addiction were completely normalized, and no one ever questioned why a kid's lunchbox came with a Capri Sun, a fruit roll-up, and a smile. And if this story made you go, what the actual there are so many more where this came from, and we're going into all of them because everything you've been told is a lie.
I tried to tell you that dragons used to exist in this region, and you didn't believe me. Some scientists recently discovered this giant fossil in China, but they're calling it a dinosaur from the Triassic period, which, you guessed it, 240 million years ago. You see, they always want to talk about dinosaurs, but they don't want to talk about dragons. This region was once plagued by dragons, so much that it became one of the biggest threats to mankind's survival. Imagine fire-breathing dragons just burning up your village. It got so bad that knights had to dedicate their life to tackling this problem. And they say nobody did it better than St. George himself, the Dragon Slayer. This is an illustration of St. George killing the dragon from 1502 to 1507. They were some crazy years, so I believe that dragons still exist, but they can't come around here, brother. They would get shot down in a second.
They can't come around here,
so I believe they're still out there, in different regions, in places that you can't find on the map.
I reacted to something a while back where somebody was correlating that we never had dinosaurs roam the earth, but the dinosaurs that they're referring to were actual dragons. I don't know, it just made me look at that differently. When I first heard of it, it just made sense to me. What y'all think? Do y'all think that there were dinosaurs, or do y'all think that the dinosaurs were the dragons? Because, you know, dragons are mentioned in the Bible.
They retune.
Study your laws of the universe. Laws of the universe. Or get the master key. Like all the laws of the universe, I studied all the laws of the universe. You know what I'm saying? And I fully apply that.
The 12 universal laws are cosmic rules, the blueprint of how energy, thoughts, and reality work. Number 1, law of divine oneness. Everything is connected. Your thoughts, words, and actions ripple through the universe. Watch how you treat people. It comes back in ways you don't see. Number 2, law of vibration. Everything has a frequency, even your emotions. Protect your vibe, your music, and people. Even thoughts affect your frequency. Number 3, law of correspondence. As above, so below. Your outer world reflects your inner world. Number 4, law of attraction. You attract what you are, not what you want. Stop begging, start becoming. Shift your energy, then watch what shows up. Number 5, law of inspired action. Manifestation needs movement. Don't just visualize. Act like it's already real. Energy follows action. Number 6, law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is always shifting. Low vibes can be turned high. Turn anger into drive and pain into passion. You're the alchemist. Number 7, law of cause and effect. Every action has a reaction. Karma is real. Move smart. You're planting seeds with every choice. Number 8, law of compensation. You're rewarded for what you put out, even if you don't see it yet. Give value, stay solid. Trust the payout comes in divine timing. Number 9, law of relativity. Nothing is good or bad until you compare it. Stop playing victim. Someone would kill to have your problems. Number 10, the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite, yin and yang. Your darkest moments build your light. Embrace both sides. Number 11, law of rhythm. Life moves in cycles. Ups and downs are natural. Don't fight the wave, surf it. Stay grounded through seasons. Number 12, law of gender. Masculine and feminine energy exists in all things. Learn when to grind, masculine, and when to flow, feminine. Study these laws and apply them daily, and life starts responding to you.
I want to speak on all of them, but I'm not going to do that. But the one where he said, like, someone would kill to have your problems, because you be thinking you got it bad, but there's always somebody that has it worse. So always be grateful, because somebody would basically, I don't use the word kill, but somebody is praying to be in the position that you're in while you're praying to be somewhere else. So that's something I always like to hold on to, because again, you don't realize how great you have it until you see somebody else that doesn't have it. Because again, people are praying to be in the position that you could be taken for granted.
2,000 meters beneath the surface. That's just 20% of the ocean's total depth. We can go way deeper. And what we find along the way? It's nothing short of unbelievable.
Look like one of my exes.
2,000 meters or 2 kilometers, you'd expect total darkness. No sunlight reaches here. And yet, you start seeing tiny lights glowing in the black. That's because we've just entered the bioluminescent zone, where almost 90% of sea life glows in the dark just to survive. One of the
Adaptation.
creatures here, a small, terrifying thing known as the abyssal dragonfish. But its teeth, 5 times sharper than a piranha's. Now let's drop down to 3,800 meters. This place is legendary because it holds the wreck of the Titanic. Yes, the real one, lying silent and broken nearly 4,000 meters deep. Keep going. We reach 5,000 meters and officially enter the abyss zone. If you thought we were deep before, this is just the average depth of the world's oceans. Life is barely hanging on. You'll only find strange sea cucumbers, giant glowing jellyfish the size of humans, and long-legged abyss crabs. Let's go even further, down to 6,000 meters, into the Hadal.
Wait a minute. If the ocean is so big that we haven't even explored like a good chunk of that, what's below, like, let's say like we get to a point where no life exists in the ocean, right? Let's say we up here, let's say the bottom of the ocean's down here. We only explored this much, and by this far, nothing really, like, sea life doesn't really exist like that for real. There's about a good few creatures down there, but nothing crazy. Once you keep going lower, it has to be a different breed of sea life down there, right?
This is the biggest tree in the world. There are taller trees. There are wider trees. But General Sherman is the largest by volume. That means it holds more wood than any other tree on Earth. It's estimated to weigh over 4.2 million pounds, standing 274 feet tall, with a base over 36 feet wide. And get this, it's over 1,200 years old.
Oh, wow.
That means it was already growing before the Roman Empire rose. You'll find General Sherman in Sequoia National Park, home to some of the oldest and tallest living things on the planet. Sequoia roots don't grow deep, but they spread wide. Still, not all of them survive storms. These giants have been through hundreds of fires, and they keep growing. Some trees are so big you can walk into them, or through them, and even through a fallen one that's completely hollow. Winter's the perfect time to go.
Yo, why am I now just finding out that 80% of the Amazon has not been explored? Make it make sense, y'all. So you mean to tell me we don't know what's in the Amazon? 80% of the Amazon has not been explored. And if you ask me, I think that's where El Dorado is, the city of gold. 80%? The Amazon is that dense that can't nobody get through it? Or make it make sense, y'all. Ain't no telling if there is anacondas 30 feet long in the Amazon. 80% of the Amazon has not been explored. A dinosaur can survive in the Amazon, y'all. Dinosaurs can survive in the Amazon, y'all. That's how big it is. Like, make it make sense. Why haven't we discovered? So you mean all this time we just discovered 20% of the Amazon? Make it make sense.
I was about to say, that sounds like the ocean too, because we just reacted to that. It's only a certain percentage that we've explored. So if the Amazon's like that too, they kind of both go hand in hand. So the Amazon and the ocean have only been explored a certain percentage. This world is a lot bigger than what they're telling us.
So now they're saying that aliens are on their way to Earth. It should be here in November, allegedly.
What day?
And they say they're not just here to kumbaya. They said they're here to probably attack us. That's what they're saying, y'all. So y'all, they're trying to say this thing right here, this little rainbow thing, is a ship. And it's headed right towards Earth. Now, I'm not saying they're capping. I don't know what's really going on. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's not. All I know is they've been telling us surely but slowly that there's UFOs on this Earth. Y'all remember, they've been briefing us on certain little situations that's been happening. Certain little videos that went viral of like UFOs in the sky. Y'all remember they had a little press conference? Now they're saying we might get in contact with this ship that's heading towards Earth in November. And you got some people saying, no, they're not just coming towards Earth. They're coming to visit the ones that's already here, that never left. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. And if you don't believe me, go look this up.
Are we in another timeline right now, y'all? It must be, man. So check this out. After 30 years of being on his farm, this farmer comes across what appears to be some type of unicorn skull. After 30 years, y'all. I don't know what to believe anymore because, again, the historians have left the building, so history was all a lie. So I don't know what's going on here, but check this out.
Shocking discovery in rural Iowa has experts questioning everything we thought we know about mythology and history. What started as routine plowing on the Johnson family farm turned into an archaeological sensation when their tractor unearthed what appears to be the skull of a unicorn. The skull was immediately transported to Iowa State University, where paleontologists are conducting extensive tests to determine its age and authenticity.
The bone structure is unlike anything in the fossil record. We're completely baffled.
Preliminary carbon dating suggests the skull could be over 3,000 years old, predating any known horse species in North America.
Didn't they already prove that carbon dating is a farce because, you know, you need near perfect conditions, which doesn't exist? You guys see the atmosphere is always changing. So I don't know about this, but I do know the Bible talks of or speaks of unicorn. The Bible uses the word reem as the word unicorn, which translates to what's called a wild ox or a rhinoceros. A rhinoceros, right? Why is that important? Well, have y'all seen the shape of Antarctica lately, y'all? I've spoken about the shape of Antarctica and what it really represents. So is Antarctica the magical unicorn? And what's happening in Antarctica right now, y'all? I be talking about this. Look at this. That's why they all around Antarctica. And y'all, it goes way deeper than you think. This right here is also the reason why they got a whole organized group of poachers going around and dehorning the rhinos. If you want a part 2, I need this video to blow up, get them views up, get them likes up, because for some reason TikTok is stopping my grind. But yes, I need the views to go up, y'all. But yeah, it's so deep. But yeah, y'all, like, follow, share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Grass-fed beef is the biggest scam on the planet. It's a complete lie. What I'm going to share with you is going to piss you off. Less than 1% of beef sold in the U.S. is truly grass-fed. This whole idea of grass-fed is just filled with loopholes all over the place. In 2016, the USDA dropped the official definition of grass-fed. All of the cows are grass-fed. It's the last 3 to 6 months where they're fed other things, like grains and some other ingredients that I had no idea. Over 99% of all the beef that people are buying is not fully grass-fed, despite what it says on the label.
Number 10. Open floor plans were designed to watch women. The open concept kitchen wasn't just about better flow, it was about visibility, specifically watching housewives. In the 1950s, American architects and advertisers pushed open floor plans as modern, sleek, and ideal for entertaining. But behind the aesthetics was a cultural shift, the re-domestication of women after World War II. With men returning from war and women being pushed back into the home, the design of the home itself became a tool. Open kitchens meant no doors, no privacy, no off switch. Housewives were now visibly working all day, able to supervise the kids, visible to guests, and completely embedded in domestic labor. It wasn't a private workspace, it was a performance stage. And guess what? Appliance companies and furniture brands loved it. More visibility meant more product placement in your own home. Psychologists later noted that women in open-concept homes reported higher stress and less sense of autonomy, even if the homes looked nicer. So if you've ever wondered why being in your kitchen somehow feels like being on display, it's not just the lighting, it's the architecture of control. Mid-century modern, but make it surveillance. Number 9. Ideal weight charts. Were invented by insurance companies, not doctors. You've probably seen them, a neat little chart with heights on one side and your ideal weight on the other, usually printed on the wall of a medical office or the back of a cereal box. Looks official, right? Except, it's not medical. At all. The original ideal weight charts weren't developed by health experts. They were created by Metropolitan Life Insurance Company in the 1950s. Why? To calculate life insurance risk, not health, not fitness. Just, who might die sooner and cost us more money? The charts were based on data from white, upper-class policyholders, mostly men, and didn't account for muscle mass, bone structure, ethnicity, or anything remotely individualized. So they're just making up numbers. But they looked scientific, so doctors adopted them, then schools, then fitness magazines. And now they're embedded in how we talk about health, weight, and normal bodies. Even worse, the numbers were later adjusted downward, not for health reasons, but to promote thinness as a cultural ideal. So if you've ever felt bad for not fitting inside a number box invented 70 years ago by an insurance company trying to protect its bottom line, congratulations. You've been body-shamed by corporate math. Number 8, gendered toys. Boys like blue, girls like pink. Was a marketing decision. Before the 1950s, babies wore white, all of them. Boys, girls, didn't matter. Pink and blue, they were just colors. In fact, in the early 1900s, pink was often recommended for boys because it was seen as stronger, and blue, delicate, suitable for girls. But by the mid-century, something changed, and surprise, it wasn't biology, it was retail. In the post-World War II baby boom, companies realized they could double their profits by dividing their products by gender. Why pass down toys or clothes between siblings when you could sell new ones in a different color? By the 1950s, department stores and advertisers locked it in, pink for girls, blue for boys. The association was pushed so hard that it became truth, at least in the cultural imagination. Then came gendered toys, dolls for girls to prepare them for motherhood, building sets for boys to prepare them for engineering and dominance, apparently.
Makes sense.
Psychologists now link early gendered play with limiting beliefs and career gaps later in life. But at the time, it was just about selling more plastic. So if you ever wonder why pink razors cost more, that's not fashion. That's 50 years of branding layered in your brain. Number 7. Lawns were never about grass. They were about control. Somehow, a perfectly flat, bright green patch of grass became a symbol of success. Not food, not shade, not function. Just grass that you can't use. And like most things in post-war America, that wasn't an accident. In the 1950s, the rise of suburbia came with a new national image, the tidy, uniform, lawn-covered home. But lawns weren't about nature. They were about conformity. Developers and advertisers pushed the idea that a well-kept lawn meant you were a respectable, responsible citizen. Mowed lawn equals moral compass. Messy yard? Probably a communist. Seriously, the lawn was part of a larger campaign to define the American way of life during the Cold War. It was visual patriotism. It also conveniently discouraged growing your own food, which would disrupt the booming processed food economy. And the HOA, they became lawn enforcers, making sure your grass matched your neighbors or else. Today, Americans spend over $100 billion a year maintaining lawns that serve no purpose other than not being embarrassing. If you've ever felt ashamed about dandelions in your yard, congratulations. Your front lawn has been judging you since 1956. Number 6. The customer is always right.
Let's hear this one.
Wasn't about service. It was about control. You've probably heard it.
Everything's
You may
about
have even
control.
said it, usually while being ignored in a retail store. The customer is always right. It sounds empowering, but it wasn't meant to help you. It was meant to keep workers quiet. The phrase took off in the US in the 1950s as retail exploded. Big department stores, diners, fast food, suburban malls. Suddenly, you weren't just buying something. You were the hero of the entire transaction. And if you're the hero, that makes the cashier the villain, or at least the obstacle. In reality, this phrase was pushed hard by companies to discourage returns, protect profits, and dismantle worker rights. If a customer was always right, then a worker couldn't argue, even if the customer was rude, lying, or abusive. It created a culture where being entitled was expected, and standing up for yourself as an employee became bad service. Even today, service workers face emotional burnout, panic attacks, and straight-up hostility, all under the shadow of that fake smiley phrase. It wasn't about kindness, it was about compliance, and we're still tipping under its weight. Number 5, department store mirrors were tilted to make you look better. You step into the fitting room, you try on the jeans, and, wow, they fit. Like, unusually well. You feel good, confident. You buy them, then you get home, and somehow, you've morphed into a completely different person. Bloated, lumpy, betrayed. That's not body dysmorphia. That's mirror physics. In the 1950s, as department stores became cultural landmarks, retailers began experimenting with tilted mirrors, usually angled slightly backward at the top. It's a subtle distortion, but it makes your legs look longer, your waist
I'm
slimmer,
paying
your posture
attention
more
to
upright.
that.
Basically, a soft focus filter for your actual body. You're not seeing you, you're seeing purchase-ready you. Combine that with flattering lighting and a touch of sales psychology, and boom, you leave thinking you've never looked better. Then wonder if your apartment is cursed when you try it on again later. Even today, some stores still use adjusted mirrors and lighting setups to prime your confidence. It's not a fitting room. It's a controlled environment designed to convert insecurity into transactions. And it works. You weren't delusional. You were retail optimized. Number 4, the nuclear family was government propaganda.
This is a great video.
2 parents, 2 kids, white picket fence, maybe a dog named Skip.
Not
This is
Skip.
what a normal family looks like, right? Only because someone decided it should. The idea of the nuclear family, mom, dad, and exactly 2.5 kids living alone in the suburbs, wasn't some timeless natural evolution of society. It was a Cold War-era invention crafted to symbolize American stability and superiority, specifically against communism. In the 1950s, U.S. government messaging, advertisers, and media all began aggressively promoting this family structure as the ideal, not because it was healthiest, not because it worked best, but because it made the country look organized, obedient, and moral on the world stage.
Forget the
Extended families,
country.
intergenerational homes, communal living, those were too close to socialism, too collective. So the nuclear model was mass-produced, literally. Suburban housing was zoned for it. TV shows glorified it. Even tax policies were built to reward it. Today, the nuclear family is still seen as the default, even though it's statistically unstable, emotionally isolating, and historically an experiment. If your family didn't fit the mold and you grew up feeling wrong for it, you weren't wrong. You were just off-brand. Number 3, processed food was marketed as feminist freedom, the microwave meal, the boxed cake mix, the canned everything. In the 1950s, processed food didn't just enter American homes, it stormed in with a marketing campaign disguised as liberation. Ads told women that ready-made meals were modern, progressive, efficient. They weren't just saving time, they were breaking free from the shackles of traditional housework. No more kneading, chopping, measuring. Just pour, heat, serve, smile. It was empowerment, as long as you stayed in the kitchen. The genius of it? Processed food companies knew post-war housewives were feeling trapped and invisible, so they reframed convenience as rebellion, freedom, as long as you bought the right brand. And it worked. Cake mix sales actually slumped at first, until marketers removed the powdered egg and told women to add a fresh egg themselves. Why? So they'd feel like they were still making something. Domestic pride, preserved. It was manipulation wrapped in tinfoil and microwaved to 800 watts. And to this day, prepackaged food is still sold as having it all. But it started as a clever way to rebrand housework as choice. You weren't choosing freedom. You were choosing faster compliance. Number 2, IQ tests were never about intelligence.
Oh,
You
we
sit
know
down,
this one.
answer some logic
It don't
puzzles,
make no sense.
get a number, and just like that, you're gifted, or you're not, smart, or average, valedictorian, or remedial. But here's what they don't tell you. The modern IQ test wasn't designed to help you.
It
was
never
designed to
is.
sort you, efficiently, bureaucratically, like a spreadsheet with feelings. The original IQ concept dates back to the early 1900s, but in the 1950s, it got fully institutionalized. Why? Because the US military needed a fast way to sort recruits during World War II, and schools needed a way to replicate that efficiency. Suddenly, a narrow set of logic skills became the standard for intelligence. Problem solving, creativity, emotional depth, cultural knowledge, not measured, not valued. IQ became a filter. One that just happened to privilege white, middle-class students and pathologize everyone else. By the 50s, public schools were using it to justify tracking, segregation, and access to resources, not because it was accurate, but because it was convenient. And even today, your perceived intelligence might still trace back to a number invented to staff the army faster. If you've ever felt defined by a score, you weren't evaluated. You were categorized. Number 1, the 40-hour work week was designed for factories, and you're still living in it. The 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Feels like the natural rhythm of adult life, right? Except it's not natural. It's mechanical. And it was never designed for mental well-being, creativity, or balance. It was designed for factories. The modern 40-hour workweek became the US standard during the late 1930s and solidified in the 1940s to 50s thanks to Henry Ford and the labor movement.
Thanks,
Not because it
Henry.
was ideal, but because it was a compromise between workers demanding better conditions and employers demanding maximum output. It was perfect for industrial labor. Churn, repeat, produce. But the thing is, that structure got copied and pasted into office life, corporate life, school life, even though the jobs completely changed. And here's the kicker. Studies now show most people do about 2 to 3 hours of real focused work a day. The rest is filler, burnout, or pretending to look busy. Still, the 40-hour framework remains the default, because it's familiar, because it's professional, and because challenging it makes you sound lazy, even when the science, the culture, and the burnout all say it's broken. So if you've ever looked at the clock at 2:43 p.m. on a Wednesday and wondered why am I still here, now you know. You're following a schedule made for machines, not humans.
It is scary how propaganda works and how it's been a thing since, I'm just going off of this video, since the 50s. Because it's still something that is being used till this day that was made so long ago. They said the fact that we believe that we can't change the work week is also propaganda. Someone said I hate it here. The BMI scale that they were talking about, I used to live by that when I was younger. because when that thing told me, with me being this height, that I had to be this particular weight, it got to me. It did. I'm trying to do anything and everything to get to that weight so that I'm not considered overweight, and then it's to a point where I'm not underweight. That thing is dangerous. And to find out they just coming up with a bunch of numbers, and it was for life insurance, and it had nothing to do with your health. I just think it is, I'm not surprised. That's why I start off each video saying these videos are going to make you question, they're going to make you rethink life, everything, the world. I really mean that, because that probably was like my favorite video so far. Everything that they do is never for the good. Like, it's always the bad. The 40-hour work week is a schedule made for machines, not humans. But they have humans working these 40-hour weeks thinking that it's normal to work that, when in reality it never was supposed to be that.
What if I told you that the roots of many chronic diseases is parasites? We try to treat symptom after symptom, but truthfully, the root is living right inside us. Let me cook. See, multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's, there's parasites in the brain. Type 1 diabetes, there's parasites in the pancreas. Undiagnosed high blood pressure, it could be parasites congesting the kidneys. Asthma has been linked to parasites in the lungs and the airway. Many autoimmune diseases are triggered by parasites confusing the immune system. Anemia, iron deficiencies, vitamin and mineral deficiencies are parasites stealing your nutrients. Hormonal imbalances in men and women are parasites disrupting the endocrine gland. Hypothyroidism is parasites attacking the thyroid gland. Look, I can keep going and going all day, but the truth of the matter is many chronic diseases are linked to parasite invasion. So the best bet is to cleanse and detox parasites at least 2 to 3 times a year.
Y'all know that's my people. That's my family over at Rapha Roots. Rapha Roots has been such a blessing. Herbs and the treatments and stuff that they're coming out with. And I didn't know that the best way to like cleanse out parasites would be to do it 2 to 3 times a year. But it makes so much sense with all the stuff that we've been putting into our system. So it makes sense to do it that many times a year to get it out of your system. But I heard from a birdie, Rapha Roots has a parasite and detox cleanse that will eliminate parasites, that will cleanse the guts and the organs, and it will reclaim your energy, clarity, and balance. It is officially out now, y'all. We need to cleanse our insides so that our outsides can show, because we have to attack within so that we can get to the root of the problem and not just scratch the surface. Don't wait for these symptoms to get worse. I promise you, cleansing 2 to 3 times a year will have us reclaiming our health, and we're doing it naturally. So y'all, the link is in the description down below. Make sure y'all go check it out and use my discount code to save yourself some money when it comes to shopping with Rapha Roots. Right now, we know that it is the parasite cleanse, the detoxing of that. But if you're looking for other things too, like soaps, deodorants, teas, whatever you are thinking about, they got it. So the link is in the description down below. They are a one-stop shop. So make sure to go check them out, but use my discount code to save yourself some money when it comes to shopping with Rapha Roots.
Why did they destroy all the bells after World War II? Because if you sit in a bell and someone hits it and it begins to resonate, you can begin to heal like that. All the bells you ever look up, and notice how all the bells have a crack in them and they're broken. I wonder why that is. There's intention to get rid of these things so that we're dependent on a sick care system, because sound frequency instantaneously heals the body. Similar to chanting. If you any sound effect will begin to instantly structure all the body at the same time. That's what used to happen in the cathedrals. They would ring the bells or they would play the pipe organs, and all of the cells in the body would instantaneously become structured, which would instantly heal them. But they had to get rid of the pipe organs, which are made from lead, which is interesting, and they had to get rid of the bells, because both of those can heal people. Now imagine if a bell of the size of the massive bells we were shown was ringing in a cathedral, okay? Now imagine the frequency that would come out of the cathedral into the town. You could heal the entire town instantaneously just by ringing the bell in the cathedral. That's why they had to get rid of them. They had to break all those.
I feel like I'm too aware. You know what I mean? It's a weird feeling, just being so aware to where you don't even know who you are anymore. It's kind of hard to explain, but like you just see things from the outside so differently. And you're just like, what we doing? What the what are we doing here? We're on a ball floating in midair. I'm not gonna get into that. That's gonna put me into a spiral. We're on this rock, paying taxes. Okay, we're not doing it. Paying for fruits and vegetables that we grow ourselves. What the in water? Why are we paying for water? In meat? We used to hunt for our own. Luda, get out of here. We used to hunt
like
for our
Orlando
own
Brown.
with our bare hands, and now we're going into these gross LED lit hospital feeling grocery stores that make me feel sick. What's happening? Feels like hell. This is not normal. This is probably why we're all depressed. No, it definitely is why we're all depressed and feel miserable every day.
Sometimes I wish I was one of those people that just got up and went about their day and was just happy with that.
I was going to film way more videos. I wish y'all could see behind the scenes of what I was going through, but it's okay. We were having major technical difficulties, but I'm still giving all praise to Yahuwah and Yahusha because I know it's going to be a great video, even though you guys didn't see none of the technical difficulties, but that is okay. I got to see it and witness it all, but it's all goody. I was trying to think he's slick. He's not going to give you out of character. So we still give all esteem and all kavod to Yahuwah and Yahusha Mashiach. But I really loved and enjoyed these videos. If you notice, like I said in the beginning, Big was the one that sent in all of those videos. That's why I didn't shout nobody else out. Y'all be going in with videos. I'm just giving a shout out to Big because that was the section that I was on and he was just... But it's more people on here. So shout out to you guys that are sending in videos. Please send them my way. Again, if you want your video featured on here along with the shout out, all you have to do is join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. And I have a thread called Conspiracy Theories Reactions. That's where you'll go and you'll send me all your videos. And that's how I see it and how I react to it. Thank you to those in advance that have been dropping videos. Thank you in advance to those that are just now about to join the Discord and drop videos. So I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. I want to say, I know y'all see the merch. A cured patient is a lost customer. This is the crew neck edition. I told y'all we got some stuff on there. I'm telling you, I got something for everybody. Y'all want sweats? Got it. Crew necks? Got it. Hoodies? Got it. Zip up? Got it. Mugs? Got it. Shirts? I got it all. So go to shopperky.com. The link is in the description down below. When you happen to buy, please, 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 take a picture and tag me, send it to my email, send it to Discord. However you can get it to me, send it to me, please, so I can feature you on the website along with the shout out. We give all esteem, all kabod, and all praise to our Saba Yahuwah Lua and our Abba, our Adoni, our Malek Habod, Yahusha Hamashiach, because at the end of the day, I'm just a vessel that they work in and through, and I had to give credit and honor where it is due. And if I'm to boast, it's going to be in Yahuwah. So, hallelujah. Y'all, we are on the road to 900,000 people. That is scary. That is ridiculous. But again, all kavod and all esteem going to Yahuwah and Yahusha because they allow me to be a steward over what they rightfully own. So I always have to give praise and esteem to where it is due. But y'all, that is all for this video. I'm not done. I'm going to film some more. Y'all know me. So when y'all see me in this shirt, just know I was grinding. So just know I was putting in the work. But that's all for this one. So let me go ahead and end this one so I can react to some more for y'all. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. I will see y'all in the next one. Shalom, shalom.
You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell my soul.